much. First of all, I want to say how humbled and honored I am to be on your program this morning. And hello, everyone who's watching us. My name is Ian Maksin. I'm broadcasting from Chicago. I just got back from Arizona. I was in Sedona, a very special place in Arizona. And now I'm about to head out to India in just a couple of days. It's going to be my first time, and I'm very, very excited. It's been on my bucket list for a super long time. I've been playing cello all my life since I was 6 years old, and I honestly cannot even imagine my life without the cello. I probably played, I don't recall a single day, even when I was sick and whatever, I do not remember a single day when I didn't play the cello. So it's really like an extension of me, or perhaps I am the extension of the cello. And it's been quite a journey. I started playing classical music when I was a kid, and as I grew older, I realized there were some limitations to classical music, and I wanted to make my music more accessible and to be able to play the kind of music that came straight from my own heart. And so I started writing my own music for cello that was sort of based on traditional music of different cultures from all over the world. And that's where I'm at today. I play nearly 200 concerts a year for people on 5 continents, and my goal is to share my music with as many people as I possibly can, because I feel, and I've learned it from first-hand experience, that music is capable of doing a lot more than just provide entertainment and pleasing to people's ears. It's something that can put us into a different dimension, and in dimension where healing occurs, both for the soul and physical as well, because I do believe, and I'm sure you will do as well by now, that physical and soul are just one. They're connected. There cannot be physical health without health of the soul. So that's pretty much it. That's all I had to say.
Tell me what inspired you so much. Here's a story. Last time Jan was visiting me, I'll tell you a story. What happened was he had just recently started supporting Ukraine. And Jan is from Russia. His family still lives in Russia. And I was like, wow, man, this is very courageous. You're supporting Ukraine despite being from Russia because you think that's the right thing to do. And he was like, yeah. And I didn't realize how big of a problem that was for an independent musician for whom 70% of his revenues were coming from Russia or Russian people. He basically said, I'm going to remove 70% of my revenues. For a musician, that's a big deal. He said, I'm not going to take money. Plus, now he can't visit Russia, because if he visits, he's famous, he visits Russia, they're going to imprison him. So he can't visit his family.
Oh.
So you see how powerful a statement of supporting Ukraine and going and doing all these charities and speaking out and raising money for Ukrainians is. I was so inspired by that. I was like, wow, this is a guy. I can sit here and say, oh, let's support Ukraine. And I could, I did some Shabbats. But, it doesn't really matter to me. I'm not losing any revenues. I don't have family in Russia. But I was super inspired. So, Jan, can you tell us about that and how you got the courage to kind of do that and just kind of lose all your revenues and still support the right cause?
Well, to begin with, I want to clarify that my mother's family comes originally from Ukraine. So I do have some Ukrainian heritage, but regardless of that, when when the war in Ukraine broke out, it was really it was no choice for me, so to speak. I had nothing to choose between, because I felt like there was only one right choice for me, and that was to be honest to myself and to my heart in what was going on, and it didn't even occur to me once that I would, alter my, public statement or opinion based on my revenue. It was actually a very kind of a liberating experience to, speak out, and even though I knew there was a lot at stake, like opportunities to perform in Russia and even go back to be able to visit my family. So it was really at no point I felt like I double guessed myself.
Yeah,
So that's
that
pretty much it.
that was very
Years
inspiring.
later, I
Yeah,
I have never regretted my decision for even 5 seconds.
Hiten.
excellent. Yeah, it's phenomenal what you just said, and for that courage to look beyond the profits and the benefits, and really with high integrity. You are missing two letters at the end of your name with a G and an H. The Singh in
Oh
India
yeah.
is given for people who do put the right stuff in front of all the other materialistic benefits. So I applaud you for doing that.
So
I'm
you
not
gave me
going
the honorary sync today, so
There
I
we
can
go.
I
There we
can
go.
say that I'm an honorary sync.
That
Actually,
Hi,
Jan,
excuse me,
I
Ian.
love that Hiten has given you the honorary Singh. Singh is a lot of people's middle name. So in India, feel free to say I'm Jan Singh Maksin.
Okay.
but
I
no,
will say Privyet, Ian. Kagdilan.
Oh, wow. Someone's speaking Russian. Gulshanji, are you speaking Russian?
No, not me. No, no, no.
Yes,
It's someone
yeah,
else.
this is Gurpreet. I was in Ukraine. I used to study in Odessa Medical University. So
Hmm.
Kagdila is how are you?
Хорошо, хорошо, спасибо. Cello sub,
excellent.
Thank you, Spasiba.
пожалуйста. Thank
Wow,
you.
that's
Yeah,
great.
it's great to listen Ukrainian again.
Yeah.
Also, yes, I just wanted to add that I stayed out of politics my entire life. I felt like music should be able to transcend any politics, if you know what I mean. That I kind of pinned myself to people like surgeons, physicians that kind of don't take sides, that use
Doctors with no borders.
So that's what I thought. But somehow when the war in Ukraine broke out, I felt like I could not stay out of it like I did, in prior situations where I never took sides of any sort. But I just this is the only time in my life that I felt like I had to speak out.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It was great. I have two questions for you. One, I'd love to know what your itinerary is in India and where all you're going and performing. And the other question, which I think teed off from what Shiv said, learning something from age 6. A lot of our children, they get interested in something and then something dissuades them, and it's pretty tough to keep that dedication on for so long. What was it that, and if you can translate in words, that kept your heart attached to your craft, your art?
Well, I think one of it's coming from the opposite end. Every time I envisioned my life, or tried to picture my life without music, without the cello, I would get this feeling of void, void and emptiness, that was kind of scary to even contemplate. And that's one of the reasons why I stayed connected to music throughout my life. Music, like even before I realized, before I discovered consciously the spiritual aspects of being a performer and playing the cello, the healing qualities of the cello sound, I knew that there was subconsciously, I knew there was something special that kept me going and helped me maintain my peace of mind even before my conscious spiritual journey began. So that's sort of how it was in the early days. And then at some point, maybe 15 years ago, I would say that's when I began to realize that there was something well beyond, beyond the tangible aspects of music. When people started telling me that, when you play the cello, it does something to our soul. That's what made me think. And that's when I realized, okay, this is something that could be my mission in life, to do something for people's souls. And I started finding ways to nurture it, and finding ways to expand my own, elevate my own spirituality, so that it would translate into something deeper that would go through the sounds and through the music I write, through the music I perform.
Excellent. Thank you for your responses. That feedback loop is a very important element, and I guess that's what I was trying to figure out. Sarah, please go ahead.
Hi, Ian. Yeah, I just wanted to share my experience. First, I want to commend you for standing up for your integrity. There's very few people in the world who are willing to do that, so I think it's amazing. And then I wanted to share what I experienced when I listened to this this piece that Anika put on for us. I really see what she was saying about feeling Guru Nanak through your music. I felt it took me back to a time where I was performing as a dancer, and that's a little bit how my spiritual journey began, when I started dancing, and I started dancing to certain kinds of music that put me in a meditative state.
Absolutely.
I started to feel the presence of the divine. And as I was listening to your music, I felt like I went to dance. I was like holding back my hands. And definitely going to dance later with that piece. And yeah, you truly have a gift, and it's beautiful to witness.
So much.
Thank you for being here with us and sharing yourself and your music.
Thank you so much. I'm glad you brought up the word meditation. And obviously there's already, for a long time, there's been scientific explanation of different brain waves, and that, by going into an altered state, by going into alpha and theta and delta waves, we're able to make work with our unconscious mind a lot easier. Our own work that we can do, or work with that other people can do, sort of for us through hypnosis and other things. It's like being able to do an open surgery on your soul, and do some maintenance on your soul, so to speak. So these practices have existed for as long as mankind has existed, but recently we've had a scientific explanation to it as well. So, and that's what I believe that music does, specifically the music that I attempt to play for people. And cello specifically has certain frequencies that help us achieve that altered state quicker and deeper, and at the same time also provide some healing, some being able to achieve a state of coherence. So it both puts us in that state and provides the further sort of healing. That's my explanation of how it works.
The next
Wow, yeah, I didn't
question.
know that.
Oh,
I didn't
sorry.
think about it. I know a bit about neuroscience. I studied that, and I've always loved dancing to violins. I'm not knowledgeable in all the different, but yeah, the string instruments are special, and the drums, because I did the belly dance, so there were drums and sometimes violins, and it's so magical. Oh, but I also wanted to comment on what you said about when you try to walk away from music, you felt a sense of void. I feel that I felt that not with music, but what I feel is my calling. So I feel that's how God guides us. You feel this sense of peace and joy when you're doing what is your purpose in the world, and when you try to walk away, it's just this emptiness.
Absolutely.
So it's beautiful to hear your story.
Thank you. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you so much.
So Guru Nanak says, as long as I sing, I live. As soon as I forget, I die. Next up for the question is Sarabjit, who plays a lot of instruments, Jan, and he will hopefully he will meet you in India when you're there. He will tell you why he's not on the video. Go ahead, Sarabjit.
And why? And this is all about because we can't match up your beautiful hairs, so I felt I'll not show mine. So that's a simple answer. But the thing is, I just wash my hairs and being a Sikh, I've got so I'm just gonna keep it like this. But I'll definitely meet you. Uh, First of all, uh, power to you, my friend, for whatever you're doing, whatever you just spoke, whatever you are taking your sides with Ukraine. God bless you. Few days back, heard the news of Strokin, and the gentleman who was a guitarist, and in Russia, and I went and saw his channel and the way beautifully he would play and the way he took a side. So I know it's difficult, and I wish everything just goes well. Um, I and when I hear people like you speak, what's music doing to you? First of all, God has blessed you that you're doing what God has meant you to do. That's what I feel, that you were supposed to play this, and the way Shivpreet Virji is saying, the purpose of life is to sing, and he's living it every day. It's so inspiring. Within these answers is what we are searching our own journey. A gentleman like me who's into IT as a day job and does music on a weekend or whenever, I find I'm looking at some answers, being selfish, that I'm looking at that inspiration. And it's so lovely hearing you today. God bless you. So I just want to say you should blog, you should write, and some of us should read that and read that and read that, and then one day get inspired to just do what we were meant to do, what God had made us to do, you know and I'm finding my calling in all of this. I played today. I was about to share with everybody. I played three shabads on Rabab today. For the first time, this was the longest we got in our Gurdwara Sahib. We always got a chance to do one, and we begged them to give us 30 minutes today. you know. So we were always getting 10 minutes, and today we said, can we get 30? And the management said, okay, okay, you guys can do okay. So we got 30. And first time, and I'm meeting you today. So uh, just one question to you. First of all, so happy to meet you. Courtesy, Shivpreet Virji. Shivpreet Virji, God bless you. Thank you so much. When you were doing this cello, there are other instruments which sound louder. The guitar, the electric guitar. So were you never tempted to take, because this is such a meditative sound. So, it's beautiful sound, but it's the few who can feel it. Whereas guitar were you ever drawn to look at other instruments?
Actually, guitar is my first instrument. Guitar, I've been playing guitar since I was like 3 years old, and I was kind of self-taught, but I, played some blues and jazz, and guitar was like my outlet while I was playing strictly classical music through my childhood and adolescence. On the cello, I played rock and roll. I had a band, and so I did play guitar. And then at some point, I was realizing limitations of the cello, and I tried to expand it as much as possible with to make it sound like guitar. So in a way, guitar was an inspiration in my search for augmentation of the sound of the cello. So I do, as of today. I mean, I'm not sure about, like, if you were to compare classical guitar and cello, volume-wise, they would probably be the same. In fact, guitar with nylon strings is probably even softer. But like electric guitar, obviously, you can make it sound super loud. But I do the concerts that I do, all the public concerts, they involve amplification. So I add the cello sounds fairly loud. It fills up the space. I use obviously multiple voices through the pedal and other electronics, make it sound like a whole orchestra. And on top of that, I heavily rely on subwoofers on the bottom end of the sound palette to make sure that it's very strong at the bottom. And I even use a bass pedal, which adds an extra octave below the cello, like on the lowest spectrum of the sounds that we can hear, because that's where I feel those vibrations are that we need in order to get to that alter state of trance. So that's sort of where I stand with my performing. So yes, it's definitely very different from classical cello that you would hear at a concert, at a symphony concert hall.
Fantastic. Looking forward. When are you I'll take the itinerary from Anika. When are you traveling to India?
Yeah, I never answered that part of the question. So I'm leaving the States. I'll be in Bombay as early as the 29th. Then I'm just gonna get some sleep and rest. And I have an event. It's a private event on March 30th. That I'm doing in Mumbai. What is the right way? Are you supposed to say Mumbai or Bombay? What's the right way?
Mumbai is these days, or the name
Mumbai.
change is
Yes.
Mumbai, but it
Okay.
had been Bombay for a long time.
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, when I was growing up, it was Bombay. So it's Mumbai. I apologize for asking that question, but so I'll be in Mumbai through the 31st, which is my birthday, but that's the day that I will be probably flying towards Delhi. I really wanted to go to the Himalaya and spend a couple of days because I'm an avid climber and hiker, and I was really hoping to go up. I'm actually looking for suggestions and for the most accessible place. Obviously, I will not have much time, but I wanted to go. I will probably have the first, second, and the third to do that. And then 4th and the 5th, I'm planning some activities, including we're planning with Anika Singh, some activities, including possibly a concert and including some outreach performances in underprivileged communities, and hopefully maybe creating a video, and that's something I could put out there for people to see, for all of my audience and beyond, to kind of I think that would be a great project to do. So we're planning that for April 4th and 5th, and then my last day is on the 6th. I have to find my way to Dubai on that day. So most likely, it looks like I have to come back to Mumbai and fly from Mumbai to Dubai. So the 6th is going to be the day of travel for me. So that's it in a nutshell.
Are you performing in Dubai?
As of right now, I don't have anything scheduled. It's the only place where I can meet with family right now. Dubai, Turkey, and Georgia and Armenia. So we usually pick one of those places, and that's when I can meet with my family who live in Russia. So this time it's a personal visit, but I'm open for opportunities. I've actually been, since I go to Dubai pretty often for this reason. I always look for opportunities. So far, it's not been successful for a number of reasons, but if you have any connections in Dubai as far as any kind of live music, I've been desperately looking for connections to host public concerts. And for me, hosting public concerts is very easy. I just need a local person who can make arrangements with a venue and be able to sell tickets locally in that country. I take all the advertisement. I'm able to do very aggressive advertisement through social media, through target ads, in literally any country, any city, and pretty much sell out any venue through that. I had issues in like 30 countries where I just randomly came and was able to sell out.
I'll connect with you offline. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I would love to connect with as many of you as possible. It'd be easy to find me on Facebook, Instagram, or email form on my website.
Anika, go ahead.
Right. Thank you so much, Ian, for your sharing. And something that really stood out for me personally was what you said about when you were saying that there was no choice for you, and this was the only thing to do. So I guess we once on Seekers, we had this whole discussion about choices. And it very much aligned with that thought. And that thing that you said, that it felt liberating for you. So that was really special. And like Sarah, I love dancing, and I could imagine myself whirling. I do that as a dance song, so I look forward to doing that with you live when you're here in Delhi. So yeah, that too. What I wanted to ask you was two things. One, that you sing in 35 or 37 languages. So where did you, have this, how did you learn so many languages, and what got you started onto this path? And also, when you talk about, music helped when you didn't play music, it felt like there was a void. I guess from the time that you started playing, we didn't really have the vocabulary of having a void, like when we're 6-year-old, right? So
Right.
it be at a very feeling level, like something incomplete. So, well, that's just a thought. And my second question is, for you, music from being entertainment, it changed to something more. So was there an event or something that happened in your life that made you look at music as a unifier, like you say? And yeah, so these two questions, languages and music and entertainment.
Let me go backwards. So as I mentioned earlier, it was a gradual process. It didn't happen overnight. It was something that went parallel with my own personal spiritual journey, and with the discovery that I was able to do some magical things through music by doing something, giving something to people's souls, and also unifying people through music. As I was traveling, as I began to travel to different parts of the world, playing music for people in North America, in South America, in the Middle East, in Europe, in Asia, I realized that the same music resonated with those people. I was singing, for example, in completely unfamiliar languages to people in different countries. Like I could be singing a song from Georgia in North America, and it would resonate with the people who don't speak the language, who know very little about that culture, but they would say, this is the most profound musical experience we've had, which made me realize that this was something that could connect us on a very profound level, beyond language, beyond religion, beyond politics. Also about politics, for example, I noticed that in my very large social media following, people that listen to my music online, there's, we have, quite a struggle in the United States between a very, very polarized society. So I have Republicans and Democrats, left and right, among my followers, people who listen to my music, who comment, and who, while they listen to music, they stop fighting between each other. same, even right now, there's a very large Ukrainian audience, but there's also a very large Russian audience that I didn't exclude. I never told them, hey, you're not welcome to my music. And they still listen to it. So it's like this music, whether we want it or not, it still serves as a unifying force. It's something we all share, like we share sunrise and sunsets, like we share, like we breathe the same air. Some things that we cannot help, like even being enemies, being foes, we still there are some things that will connect us no matter what, and music is one of those things. And that was one of the realizations that it took me a while, but I think that's the strongest element of my mission as an artist, as a person, as a human being, is to deliver that, because I do feel it brings us together in so many ways. And my goal is to amplify that, to magnify that, and augment it as much as possible. I feel like the more people I can share my music with, the more global impact it will have, kind of subconsciously through this, through even without me having to have a blog, without me taking on a role of a guru or a teacher, which never appealed to my ego personally. But I feel like through music, I can stay out of it. I can just be a transmitter of something that was given to me from beyond, and be able to share it with the people and stay out of it, and for my ego to stay out of it as much as possible. It's a lot more enjoyable for me and gratifying to see a result that is not attributed to me, if you know what I'm saying. That is not where I'm not even acknowledged as the person who's responsible for it. So that was the second question. First question had to do with the languages. I grew up in a very multicultural family. Not only my family, my direct ancestors spoke at least 3 languages other than Russian as I was growing up, but also my family, my mother's family, who's originally from Ukraine, they lived in the Caucasus for 25 years, Georgia, Armenia, and Azerbaijan. And that sort of Caucasus culture is very unique, and it was part of our family culture by acquisition, so to speak, not by blood. And so it was part of our culture. So I would say I grew up in a very multicultural environment. And not only that, my parents played all sorts of music on the radio, on records, on any sort of playback. We had world music, we had pop music from different countries, we had classical music, we had jazz, pop, all sorts of music. And not only that, my father sang as an amateur musician. He sang in at least a dozen languages. He didn't speak a single one of them, but he tried to emulate these languages. And I did too. I tried to emulate what he was doing, but also I wanted to know what those songs were about. So I started trying to translate those songs. Italian was one of my first languages: Italian, French, English, and et cetera, et cetera. It sort of turned into like linguistics turned into a hobby for me. So I started learning new languages. I currently speak, I would say, about 5.5 languages fairly decently, and maybe another 5 I can get around ordering, asking for directions and having a small talk. But I constantly try to challenge myself as I grow older, and my brain is not as nimble as it was when I was 20. I try to, as a preventative actions against Alzheimer's, I try to keep my brain as busy as possible with trying to learn new things, including new languages. So currently it's Turkish on my Duolingo, Turkish, and I'm brushing up on my Italian.
Well, we hope to hear you sing in Hindi when you're here. At least something, 2 lines. So you have some time to practice.
So, well, I can choose just a little bit of this. I don't know if you're actually going to hear it or not, but this is the one that Shiv taught me. Suhani chan niratein hame sonen akideti. Suhani chan niratein hame sonen akideti. Tumhare pyar ki batein hame sonen akideti. So I
Wow,
haven't
that's
even forgot
amazing.
this morning yet. So, but that's sort of the idea.
That's beautiful. And you remembered as well the lyrics. Yeah, excellent. You've been a good teacher too, Shivpreet. And you've been a great student. So yeah. Okay. I think Harmanpreet wanted to ask you something, and that's the last question.
So I don't have a question. I just have a few words to say. I feel like you embody Guru Nanak in that he traveled on foot with music touching lives, and in a very time in India where superstitions and we couldn't even have a thought of our own, and he dismantled everything. And music has that ability to just transcend the illusion of borders that we've created. And it's so beautiful that you're doing this. And I feel like when you make a choice, whatever that choice is, you're divinely protected. And also like Guru Gobind Singh, who had to make a choice to fight for something that would just disappear if you didn't fight for it. You embody that spirit as well. And you're very humble. And I see how big you are if you're making that type of ripples in the world, that you're banned from your home country. That just speaks volume to the divinity that is moving through you. Your humility is the key to your grand success, and that is divine leading you. So may that key stay in your heart and keep inspiring everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. You are very kind. Thank you for the kind words.
Oh, wow. I'm hoping that we can I'm almost speechless. That was so nicely put, Herman. Officially you are concluding all interviews. That was really well put. I mean, I wanted to say the same things, but now she said it so much better. I'm out of words. But Jan, it is such a pleasure to have you here, but it would be inappropriate if we didn't ask for more, because we're all thirsty people. We are all seekers, and we want you to come here again. Whether it's in 3 months or 6 months, we would love to meet you again. You're one of us. You're a seeker, and you're also a seer. So this is a family for you. Anything that we can do for you, please reach out. I'm going to leave. I'm leaving Jan's email here. So anyone wants to reach out to him, he needs help in Dubai, in India, and he's a musician. Musician going out and doing his thing every day needs a lot of support. But we can be a little bit of help, as much as we can. But we are also demanding. So you don't just get presents from us, you have a responsibility. And here's me giving you one thing. We would love for you to do a Punjabi folk song. I'll give you the song, and I think I mentioned it. Kali
Yes.
teri gut te paranda tera lalni. How many of us would like to hear a Punjabi song from Ian on his cello? And we would love to professionally produce it, help you do that. Kali teri gut te paranda tera lalni. And also a challenge for all of us sitting here. There is a similar Ukrainian song that Jan actually sings. It's called Black and Red or something like that. And I'll
yes.
share that.
Yes.
So it's a parallel song, but for the rest of us, I'd love for you to think what that song means. because there's actually a deep spiritual meaning of all Punjabi folk songs, even though it's kind of playful. The guy's playing with the girl. Hey, your paranda is lal, your hair accessories are red, and your hair is black. Um, and so I would love for you guys to think about what it means. Listen to that whole song. But I hope I'm not imposing this on you, putting you on the spotlight. But we'd love for you to sing that.
I was going to start looking at that song today, and hopefully by the time I get to India, I will have it under my belt. I'm really hoping. So thank you for sending in that song. I'm good. As soon as we hang up, I'm gonna go to that song.
That's fantastic. I actually sung that song. I have a version of it for my daughter's dance. We have a Baisakhi program here every year where the kids dance, and I sang they generally pick all these famous people, and then one year they're like, "Oh, Dad, why don't you make our song?" So I sang Kali Teri Gut for them, and I'll share that in the group and also with you. But Jan, again, thank you so much for your time. Next time we'll figure out how the audio, and hopefully it'll work. But it was actually great that the audio didn't work, because your words are even so musical. Your ideas are so amazing, and so much of us felt the spirituality in you through your words. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a big honor for me, and now I do feel like all of you are my family. Thank you.